It's never going to happen from here
You don't
on
know.
out.
We'll
You
see.
don't know.
The
You never know.
the NFL is taking that into consideration. The reffing crew is led by Cleat. Is it Blackman? I believe.
Bleakman,
Bleakman.
I
Sorry.
believe.
Yeah.
Cleat Bleakman. The Kansas City Chiefs have a losing record with Cleat in charge.
Blakeman.
Uh, Blakeman.
Blake or Bleak?
Blake.
Blake
Blake.
Blakeman.
Cleatman.
Blake.
Blake. The
Blake
Chiefs do have a losing
Blake
record with
Cleatman.
Fleet at the helm as the referee there. So we'll have to see. Maybe the league is taking charge. I believe also the home teams in the games that he has ref this season are 5-11, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the NFL is taking that into consideration in this week's game, but I don't think it's going to be the penalties that are the cause for winners or losers in this game.
No. These teams are too
Chiefs
good.
versus Bills. I'm going to say this right now. The winner of this game will have the more effective running game. And that doesn't mean who has the most running yards. I'm saying who has the most effective. What works the best when it comes to tricking the defense, whether it's an RPO or play action. If you have a more effective run game, you're able to chew the clock up when you need to. Maybe it's only 3.5 yards per carry, but I think the Chiefs have a better option at being able to have a better run game here. That also is going to weigh on the back of Josh Allen being able to run the ball. They've got their full lineup back on the offensive line, but whoever wins this game is going to have the more effective running game.
Josh
See, I
Allen just
think
factors into his team's running game way more than Pat does.
Yep. Unless you're in the playoffs.
I think it actually comes down to special teams in this one. The biggest thing for me is the return game. Nico Remigio is averaging what, like 26, 27 yards per return, and the Bills are one of the worst teams to cover the return, averaging about 30 yards per return for opposing teams.
He's going to
So
get
if
a
Nico
return
can
this
break
week.
one off, like that's going to be a big game changer. That's going to give us better field position. That's going to screw the Bills over in the long run. Like they're going to give something big up in this game to Nico. I can just see it already.
See, I think I like your special teams take there, Sean. I don't like the return game though. What you guys were doing on the field goal and PAT defensive unit last week was insane. They must have had a tell or like an easy snap count or something because it literally looked like every single kick they made, you guys were jumping the snap, you were back there quicker, like whether you were taking advantage of like what they did, what you guys did against the Broncos earlier this year, taking advantage of a really fucked up alignment. Don't know what it was. Not a big special teams guy like that, but whoever your D coordinator is doing something good over there, or D coordinator, special teams coordinator is doing
Well,
something good over there because just like you guys looked like you had the Texans number last week in field goal and PAT.
I think this is the best special teams unit all around that Dave Tobe has probably had as a special teams coordinator in the league. He's obviously very good. He's won special teams coordinator multiple times now, but with what we've been able to do with blocking multiple field goals this season now and just being able to get good returns, I think this is the best unit that he's had to coach.
That's the thing about the Week 18 loss. All of our backups were just meant to play special teams. They're not actually like for offense and defense. They're just they're just for special teams.
Did Charles Omenihu play against the Bills earlier this year?
No.
That
So
could be
that's
an
the
X
thing. The
factor. That
Chiefs,
could be an
the
X factor for
Chiefs,
you guys for
I
sure.
actually wanted to go there, Tommy, if that's the X factor you want to go with. Both the Chiefs and the Bills were missing 5 players each. And I want to say it was probably a little bit more significant for the Kansas City Chiefs, although there were big players that were missing on the Bills side. From that, we do see that the Bills are getting back that who was not in the game the first time they played, Matt Milano, which is a big piece of their defense.
Huge.
You also get Spencer Brown, who's their right tackle. Dalton Kincaid is back. Keon Coleman did not play in that game, and Dwayne Smoot is also for the Kansas City Chiefs. You were missing Isaiah Pacheco, Hollywood Brown, Jalen Watson, Charles Omenihu, and Harrison Butker. For sure, 5 starters and big key pieces, not just role players, but big key pieces on that Bills team. Matt Milano, Spencer Brown, Dalton Kincaid. Those are probably your biggest pieces. Don't want to overshadow Keon Coleman there, but he is definitely not as big of a piece of their offense as some of their other receivers.
I do want to point out that Matt Milano has been on the field and played against us when the Bills have let up lots of points against us.
Mhm.
He may be big for their defense, but when it comes
Yes.
to playing the Chiefs, I'm not scared of Matt Milano.
Oh no, not saying you are, but I think Matt Milano's important. Also too, like I almost completely forgot last week that Amari Cooper's on the fucking Bills. Like, what has he done in the last
Nothing.
month for the Bills?
Nothing.
Like,
Same
Got
as
one
DeAndre
touchdown pass.
Hopkins.
I
yeah,
was about to say, like, hurt himself.
I mean he
No
might have,
no
but like
difference between
still,
him and
like
DeAndre.
he played last week. Didn't I think he had like maybe a catch? I might be being generous there, but
I think you're being very generous with that one.
yeah, no, but like I mean like that was a huge thing. We're like, oh fuck it, watch out for the Bills. They got a weapon to throw to now, and like they really haven't used him. Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe he goes off against you guys. I don't know. I probably
You
don't.
could say the same thing about
Yeah.
Kansas City with the trade from DeAndre Hopkins. He played 16 snaps last week against Houston. He had one target, no catches. So
Yeah.
Listen, it's
uh,
nice to have players back, Chiefs or Bills. Like the injuries suck, and it's great to see those players back and healthy and playing. And they might impact the game in some ways or another, but this is a classic duel between two of the best quarterbacks in football's history. Like
lovely.
Yeah.
Josh
This is
Josh
yeah.
Allen probably has more to overcome playing against the Chiefs defense, but the Bills defense is formidable enough that they made it to the AFC Championship game. They led the league in turnovers, turnover differential. Like it's Pat versus Josh Allen, and the scoring isn't necessarily going to be uh, main or depicted or paced by the defense. It's
No.
going to be quarterback versus quarterback. It's just straight shooting from the hip. It's going to be a fucking duel out there.
Yeah. Both as a defensive coordinator for both teams, I'd be like, all right, we may give up 30, we just kind of need to score 31. That's all we got to do, right? Like,
Yeah,
um, I do think though, this is like the new Tom Brady Peyton Manning, right? Like this is the new
100%.
Tom Brady Peyton Manning matchup. Has Josh Allen ever beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs?
No,
Nope.
0 and
Not in the
3.
playoffs.
Yeah, I
Bunch of
mean,
times in the regular season, but never in the
Peyton
playoffs.
lost a lot to
6. It was the sixth meeting in the playoffs before Peyton finally got his first
yeah.
win against
So
Tom Brady.
I mean, the fourth meeting in the playoffs could be Josh Allen's time, but again, like it might take him 6 fucking tries to beat him, like
Yeah.
like Peyton Manning did.
It's
I'm
also
not going to say
not
the
like
Chiefs are
the
due for a loss. I'm just like I think that's something to think about. Like it took Peyton forever to beat
yeah.
Tom.
I mean,
It
it's also
might be the
not
same
like the
case.
Bills have never lost, 4 important games in the playoff in a row in their history. Yeah,
It was
a lot of people,
four
a
Super
lot of
Bowls in a row, but they weren't. The
Yeah,
games weren't in a row. But
yeah.
you can
yeah, never that never. Oh, wait, that did. And Josh Allen, as good as he is, lesser version of Jim Kelly.
Wow, that's
Wow, hot
super duper
take.
offensive to
Uh,
Josh Allen.
that's fine.
Josh Allen's got better legs
Better
than Jim
better
Kelly, and
athlete, lesser player.
wow.
that's insane to say. You're probably gonna get
I
crucified
just
for
got
that,
done
but
calling
Good.
them two of the best quarterbacks in
Yeah.
football's
I
history.
know. And then you go and
Listen,
bury Josh Allen like
Jim
that.
Kelly was one of the better quarterbacks in his time. So is Josh Allen. He's
He
just
was one of the better quarterbacks for 4 years.
not a he's just not a better player than Jim Kelly,
That's insane to say.
Wow.
That's really insane to say. I hope you guys lose just because you made that comment. Honestly, not take it away. I don't even care about the Chiefs anymore. I hope they lose so you can eat your fucking words. That's why. That's why.
Oh, so he can't go 0 and 4? Yeah.
No, 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 no. So you can sound like an idiot when you said that Jim Kelly is better than Josh Allen. Because you sound like
Josh
an
Allen.
idiot. You
Yeah,
sound you
no,
sound insane right now.
you don't get the show.
Hmm? Say it with your
uh,
chest. What'd you
I-
say?
you don't get the show.
Sure. Yeah. No, you believe that in your heart. Don't say I don't get the show. You believe that. Don't say that.
Hey,
Don't use
hey,
that cop out. We're
as
a
a
bunch of
known
idiots, but don't say that.
Ty Bob is a known Bills fan on this show, so I mean
Known
he
Bills
should
fan.
know better than anybody else.
Known Bills fan.
Exactly.
How many times have you taken the Bills versus the Chiefs?
In the regular season, every time.
Literally
Except
every
for this
time we
year.
go up against
Except
them.
for this year. I didn't do it this year. Didn't do it this year.
No, every fucking time.
Every time.
Every
Known
day.
Bills fan. Man, offensively, this game is going to be a trip. Like you said, two of the best quarterbacks going against each other. Both have really good run games and weapons galore. Again, now that almost everybody's healthy, Chiefs are obviously still missing Rasheed Rice, uh, and I don't know.
I
It's
Before you get too further away from what you just said, I do want to like kind of hammer you on one of those points. Lately, has the Chiefs' running game really been that good?
I think it's been effective, right? So that was one of the things that I had said. Who has the more effective run game? The Chiefs' run game has been effective, and that's what I mean by good. Is like maybe we don't have the yards that you would want from a run game at the end of
Every
the
you want
game.
to hear a crazy stat? Every team that lost last weekend out
Total
yardaged
yardage.
all
Yeah,
of the winning teams.
yeah.
So
But it's more
yeah,
about effect. Can I get the defense to move from me faking a run? Can I get
yeah.
them to
Keep
think
them
it's a run
honest.
and I go to a pass?
Yeah.
Like really
Keep that.
faking
Yeah.
that out. And that's where the effectiveness comes from is can I get the defense to move where I want them to so I can go to the opposite side? And the Chiefs run game has just been effective all season. They may not have had the yardage. We started off really hot with some yardage, especially with Kareem Hunt coming in and moving him almost having 100 yards a game for what 4 to 6 weeks in a row. But as we went on through the season, maybe got a little bit bored with running the ball. It's still been very effective in being able to get those DBs to bite on a lot of the fakes that the linemen are doing, faking the run there, and going through a lot of RPOs.
I think one thing you guys did not do well last week that you have to be better at this week is third down efficiency. You were 4 for 11 on third down last week.
Yep.
You
Which has
cannot do that
kind of been
against the
our
Bills.
it's supposed to be our calling card this season. Like
Third
we have
down.
yeah, we've done great on third down. That just wasn't the case last week. Which kind of made the game certainly feel a little more tight.
Now,
Totally.
Bob, you've talked a lot about the running game, but I want to go ahead and go to the rookies right here. I think two rookies are going to be the main factors for their teams this week. That is Xavier Worthy and Keon Coleman. I think whichever rookie has a better performance or just say better opportunity to take advantage of that team's going to win.
That'll be
Xavier
Worthy.
Worthy could have been picked by the Bills. They traded the pick to us. We picked him. They took Keon Coleman a little bit later. Are the Bills going to really let Xavier Worthy torch them in this one?
On a
They're going to
couple
try not
screens,
to,
yep.
but it's
On
going
a
to
couple
happen.
screens.
It's going to happen because it happened with Trick McDuffie as well, too. It's what they do. They give us the draft picks. We pick good players that they should have
Yeah, but I
taken.
think like you're an idiot if you're like, oh, we missed out on this guy. We're gonna make sure he doesn't do shit against us. Like that's bad
I
teams
was
do
going to
that,
say,
and that's
like,
how they
you've
lose. Like,
also, I think that you're 100% right, Tommy,
God,
because you got to
Tommy's
think
got to
about
get the show,
matchups.
man.
I,
I
I
guess
think you got to
I guess I don't get the show. I'll leave.
I
Bye,
think it's a lot
guys.
about matchups, right? Because you've got Xavier Worthy, who's wide receiver 3, would be 4 should Rasheed Rice be healthy with the current setup, right? And then you've got Keon Coleman, who's probably wide receiver 2. I would probably put him at wide receiver 2 because Amari Cooper hasn't really done anything. So he's going to get Keon Coleman's going to have one of the more difficult matchups. He's either going to be he's either if he's on the left, he's going to get Jay, or if he's on his left, he's going to get Trent McDuffie. If he's on his right, he's going to end up getting Jalen Watson, and whoever's left over is going to get Amari
Didn't he
Cooper.
get knocked out last week? Who was that got
Who
knocked out? Was that Reed?
Justin Reed did get
Someone got
injured. He
knocked
came
out
back in.
cold on the sideline last
He
Yeah,
week.
he
got
came
back
back
up and it
in.
was fine.
No
He
shit.
yeah, he
Yep.
came back in like 2 plays later.
Dude, he
Um,
got murdered on that play. My goodness.
right, but then on the opposite side, it's going to be like Shakir is going to get like the other matchup. Those are the two top matchups. When you go with the Chiefs offense, and I'm expecting DeAndre Hopkins to get a lot more snaps this week. I know he didn't get a lot last week.
You've
I'm
been saying that for
expecting the
months,
ramp
dude.
up.
You've been
I'm
saying
expecting the
that for
ramp up to be in
months.
this game and the next game when we make it to the Super Bowl. Because they've had to mitigate maybe that injury there that we've been talking about earlier on the season with the meniscus tear. I think they're going to go all out this game, which means that Xavier Worthy's probably going to get the lesser of the matchup, right? He's going to get a better matchup when going against the DBs that are over there for the Bills. Not saying that they've got a bad room. I just think he's going to have a better matchup for him,
So look,
and that's why it doesn't really matter.
outside of Xavier Worthy's kind of like schemed plays, the screens and the like the bubble routes or whatever with some
You like
built-in
those
blocking
gadget
downfield.
plays.
our wide receivers will not eat unless the Bills are keying on Travis Kelce. You see what he just did against the Texans, right? He's not who we expected to go off on the offense. We expect him to have his role in the offense. I was expecting to see more Hollywood Brown. Ty Bob was like, D Hop's going to go off. But lo and behold, it was
I thought
Travis
someone
Kelce.
said Trav was gonna have a day. I could have
Well,
Not,
sworn
just
last
that's
week.
not,
that's just playoff Trav.
I was, but
Oh,
not from our show. I don't remember
are you
anybody really
sure?
calling like a
Nobody
big
on
big
our
game out of
show
Travis
Wow,
really
Kelce.
I
talked
could
about
have
Travis.
sworn Ty Bob or someone was like, he's gonna have a classic Travis Kelce playoff game.
I
I,
mean,
I
we
was
mentioned
I
that,
was
but we didn't
expecting
expect
more
him to do what he
catches for
did.
receivers, but
Okay,
the
got you.
our receivers are not going to eat unless the Bills key on Travis Kelce looking at what he just did. If they look at last week and they go they can't get down the field using TK this game, that's when our receivers are going to eat. Because other than that, I don't see a whole lot of prowess with an elder D Hop, a rookie Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown is kind of out. The tape is out on him, or I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. Is like he still has an opportunity to show me that he can get separation, but everybody else on this wide receiver core is not great.
And that's where
D Hop having the ability to catch the contested catches without getting the separation, but there's not a whole lot of people on our team that know how to find the space like Travis Kelce does.
that's exactly where Matt Milano becomes very important for that Bills
Yeah.
defense because we've talked about it, and yeah, Travis Kelce has had our team has offensively done some really good things even while he's in, but it's going to be up to Matt Milano to be covering Travis Kelce, which he has shown that he can do. Now,
Mhm.
where the biggest piece comes from is defensively, how are they going to measure him up? Because he's going to have the responsibility of number one, covering Travis Kelce, number two, also being the quarterback spy, which is big in the playoffs because we know Patrick Mahomes
Well, you can't
will
make a
take
guy do
off.
both things.
You
So,
can't make him do both things, and that's where I think they're going to struggle potentially a little bit is if you've got Matt Milano out there covering Travis and then nobody is open, Pat Mahomes is going to have free reign. If you have Matt Milano covering the spy on Patrick Mahomes and not covering Travis Kelsey is going to be open all day. And that's kind of the recipe that we have seen every time we go up against the Bills is how effective can Matt Milano be when he is in. And we've actually seen their defense play much better when he is not because they don't have to rely on him so heavy. So now that
well, I
he's
think
in,
I
as good of a
yeah.
player as he is, I'm actually more excited that he's in because something is going to bust wide open.
I think too, we talked about it earlier this well, I vividly remember talking about it is like the Bills, I've been saying it all year. You can't run past Patrick Mahomes on the defensive line as a defensive end. You can't get depth. You have to keep that guy in front of you. Because if you don't, you're like you said, you're going to give him free range of the field to run around and do his thing. You can't do that. And they did a good job of that for the most part against you guys earlier this year. I think that was a big reason they won. Another thing, especially for the Bills, guarding Travis Kelsey's one thing, tackling that motherfucker is another. Open field tackling, the Texans could not do it. They gave Travis Kelce a bunch extra yards last week because the first guy couldn't bring him down. You have to be able to get him on the ground quickly before he builds up that head of steam, you know? Right when he catches that ball, you got to be on his ass because if he gets two steps going forward towards the end zone, you're fucked. So I think those are two huge keys for the Bills defense. Like keep Patrick in front of you, make open field tackles, specifically for Travis Kelsey.
I want to
And
go ahead
the
and throw out a
same,
quick tip for you, Tommy. Go ahead and take it if you want to, but Noah Gray, anytime touchdown scorer,
I took him
he
last
would be
week and he
in,
didn't
he
do
would
dick.
be
So no, I won't do that.
he got two tutties against the Bills in the regular season. I'm just
That's
saying, man.
cool. That's cool. Every time I put money on Travis, he doesn't score. Every time I put money on Noah Gray, he doesn't score. I'm done picking anytime touchdown, guys, for Kansas City. It's
I mean, it
ridiculous.
just sounds like when you get the thought in your head to do one, you should just do the
I
other.
should do the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should. So I should go with Travis then this week?
put money on both.
Fuck it.
You can't lose.
I
I'm
either
glad you
win it
went
all or I
defense.
lose my ass, right?
I'm glad you went defense because that was one that I mean we've talked a little bit about the Bills defense, but we really haven't talked about Kansas City's defense. And just like you said, they have to cover the running lanes. That's mainly going to be the Bills have to cover the running lanes for Patrick. It's mainly going to be for Patrick. They've got to step up a lot more in being able to put pressure on the run game for Kansas City to not make it as effective. Whereas Kansas City has to do the one thing that we've been saying all defenses need to do going up against the Bills. And what is that? Cut off Josh Allen's running lanes. We
Yes.
know that they don't like to run the ball with James Cook. Halfway through the season, they really stopped. In the playoffs, they really haven't done it. Outside of like short yardage situations, he's got some
Bro,
touchdowns, but
what are you talking about? He ran all over the Broncos in the first round. Like
in the
that's
fourth quarter when the
simply
game was already
who gives
in
a fuck that you're still playing? Like that's a cold take. That's a cold take.
when the game's
James
already
Cook
in
has
the
been
books. They're
decent
already
in
up
the
by
playoffs.
30 points.
Sure.
You get in these close games. He really didn't do a whole lot last week against who? The Ravens. Again, a good defense. And so what do the Chiefs have to do? Not really worry about James Cook. That's not something we really have to worry about. We didn't really have to worry about him when we played him earlier this season because we stuffed him up. You've got to cut the running lanes off for Josh Allen. You
You
allow
did
him to
what?
run, stuffed him up. You you've got to cut off the running lanes, and I think we're primed to do that with Charles Omenihu back because, like we talked about earlier, he's very good at staying contained and doing that containment. Very much like Frank Clark was able to do during the playoffs, is going to be key at making sure that he stays in the pocket and pressure from who? Chris Jones.
Well, not only Chris
George,
Jones,
Furious George.
George Karlaftis too. I remember the regular season game.
He's
George
had
was
his one
just
game.
chasing Josh over and over again, not getting home. I think he's going to get home a few more times this week.
Big help from Charles Omenihu by setting that edge, making sure he can't escape out that other way. That's probably a big reason on why he was able to get 3 sacks against CJ Stroud.
Yeah, this game's going to be super exciting. I'm ready for it, man.
Is this the
It's
first
the
game or the
no,
second
this is
game?
the late game. This is the second
This
game.
is the late game.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure the AFC went first last year, so they usually flip flop it like that.
This one's in Kansas City, and there's no weather impact this Sunday. It
It's
looks
just gonna
like
be
it's going to
cold.
be. Actually gonna be a little more, maybe 40s, maybe 50s. Sun. It'll be
That's
5:30
suntanning
game,
weather
so
out here
sun will
right
be
now,
going
dude.
down.
Holy shit.
Shouldn't be really any wind. This weekend's going to be pretty nice. Bills are headed to Kansas City. Chiefs are 1.5 point favorites at home. I did go 4-0 last week. Tommy and Sean tied at 3-3. We are all tied up
Three and
between
one.
Sean
Whoa,
and
Yeah, no,
whoa.
I don't
yes,
think a
3-1.
push is a win, dude. It's a push. It's a tie. I don't like how you call a push a win, in my humble opinion. Because you didn't win anything, you just got your money back, technically.
Don't care what you think. We can figure it out in the off season.
No, this
And don't care what you think.
it's just that's like
Tommy is
you're the type of guy
officially
to
out of the
tie a
running.
game and then call it a win.
Tommy is officially out of this with he's 5 games back. There's only 3 games remaining. Tommy, you can pick the games if you choose to.
I'll
Uh,
pick.
Or
Yeah.
go out like Tybo.
Go out
No,
like
no,
Tybo
I'll
as
pick.
well.
I don't give a shit. I'll put my myself out there to be
So
ridiculed by everybody who watches this.
we'll have you go first, and then Sean can go second. I'll go last. Tommy, Chiefs Bills. Chiefs 1.5 point favorites at home.
Wait, if I go 0-2 and I lose the Super Bowl pick, do I fall below Ty Bob or Tybo?
Oh well,
It doesn't
Tybo
matter. He
is
already
not
relinquished it.
choosing, so he's out. You're in third place.
Okay. I wasn't gonna pick if I completely fuck up and then I drop down to fourth. I wasn't gonna do that. But that being said, give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Easy pick here. What else do you think it is? It's the Chiefs.
Easy
What do you
enough.
like?
We'll take that. Go ahead.
What do you guys like final score wise?
What's the over under here?
I'm pulling it up.
I'm going to go ahead and go
47 and a half right now.
24, 21.
Both games are 47 and a half, actually.
47.5. I really like the over on that. I think the defenses are going to come up big, but I will take the over on 47.5 because I do see this game potentially going into overtime. So I'll take 31, like 27.
I think it's a race to 30. I really do. Like whoever can score 30 points in this game will win. I mean, it's only the last time the Bills won. Didn't they score 30? Like earlier this year? What was that final score?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I totally think it's a race to 30. I like the over of 47 and a half too. I think we get a 50-point ball game here.